Oh, I
That's
tweet
all right.
once in a while.
Go ahead.
I don't do it too often.
By the way, I do have Chromebook questions.
Okay.
When is the next Chromebook?
I don't do it too often.
It's too far away. What happened was I was cleaning up after sending my last PC back. So I pulled all the wires and tried to organize them. And then when I plugged things in, stuff was not working via the Chromebook. Like I bought one of those powered 10 extension hubs. That won't be recognized. I plugged in a hard drive into another hub that was working. It wouldn't recognize the hard drive. My mouse that was working yesterday is now not working today, my USB mouse. I am very frustrated. I'm about ready to start smoke signals.
Yikes, that sounds not
So-
good.
Did you
Yeah,
reboot
I mean, the
everything?
sound, oh yeah. I rebooted a couple times. The only thing I haven't done is a clean wash. But part of the problem is some of the stuff will work if I plug it directly into the USB port on the computer. But when I have the hub, which is plugged into the one of the C ports, which is supposedly more powerful, that's where and I plug the stuff in, the USB stuff in, that's where I have the problem.
Do you have a powered hub or is it a regular hub? Does it
Well,
plug
the one
into
I'm
the wall
using
as
now
well?
The one I'm using now is not, because the powered hub, which I bought when I bought the NUC, is plugged into the wall. And when I plug that in and then plug stuff into it, nothing gets recognized.
That's strange.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I use a hub all the time and I don't have a problem.
Yeah, well, I followed your advice when I bought it because I looked
Blame
at
it
it and I
on
thought
me.
that's a good idea. Well, of course, why not?
Hey,
I mean,
hey,
you got the name, you got the name tag.
so listen, Jim, probably the best thing to do is what I'm thinking of is that this is obviously a complicated problem. Why don't Hewie and I put our brains together and maybe we'll give you a Zoom call and then maybe we can try and sort this out, just the three of us.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah,
not
I
until
also
after.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best, because I don't think we're going to solve this problem. I don't think we're going to solve this problem today.
No, but
And-
I was thinking about your problems altogether, especially with your NUC. Are you using a UPS?
I was now it's just into a big surge protector.
You know
I
what?
took
You
it
may be
off
having
the UPS.
you may be having a power issue. And that's what I was thinking. That might have been the problem with your NUC as well. You may be having some kind of a power issue, and that's causing a lot of the problems you're having. I don't know. It's just something out of left field, but I have noticed and have had over the years, have had people have had problems that it turned out it was a power issue. So you might try not using the surge protector just briefly to test it out and see if things work. You may have a bad connection in that.
but what we'll
Well,
do,
I could switch.
Yeah.
I was going to say I could switch. I don't have an extension that's not a surge protector, but I do have a brand new one, so I can try that one. and see
Yeah,
what
I
happens.
would
try
That's an
that.
idea.
So Jim, I'll shoot you an email and we'll try and get together. Carl, do you have a question?
Thanks, guys.
Carl, you're muted.
Carl, go ahead. You're muted.
Forgot I muted it. Sorry. Ron, I sent you a result of my experiment with updating my SSD drive. Did you get that?
I did.
And I wanted to mention to Bill James too, because he was instrumental in helping me come over some obstacles. Basically, when I was trying to do a comparison of before and after drives, I was trying to do a what do you call it? A benchmark testing. And what I found, James, was that I was trying to do it with the existing hard drive and the SSD drive and the USB, where you can't really do a benchmark that way. You really have to do it separately. And that was one of the things I learned, that obviously you're not comparing the same environment if it were to even do it, USB versus SATA. So that solved that problem. And you were telling me what software to use, brought me closer to that, because I could see it wasn't just the Samsung software not doing the benchmark. It was a configuration issue. So, but the big thing that I learned from this is that the laptop I was using about 8 years old and had loaded with a lot of software that I wouldn't want to try to create. And it normally would take me over 2 minutes to boot. The bottom line is, with the SSD drive, it takes me 22 seconds. And that just blew me away. That's all I have.
SSDs are fast, for sure.
Yep.
George, sorry.
The gist of it is, or the other thing I wanted to add to it is that, when you do the benchmarking, you get horrendous differences in numbers. I would get numbers like 190 something, then with the next one would be like 37,000. Well, what does that mean? It's a huge difference in the benchmarking. It wasn't mean in real life. The gist of this whole thing for me, the learning, was that the real life is that it went from over 2 minutes to 22 seconds. That's what the benchmarks mean in real life.
Benchmarks to me are absolutely useless. You compare it to, is it faster or is it slower? If it's faster, you've gained something. If it's slower, hey, you made a mistake. But benchmarks on most things, unless you're trying to, figure out a millisecond faster or slower, benchmarks really don't help any.
That's an excellent point. And it may help in a sense if you're using the same media, if you're going from hard drive to hard drive. But when you're going from two different media, it really doesn't mean anything. That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, all of us been preaching for quite some time. If you want to speed up your system, best way is put in an SSD.
Mm-hmm. George, go ahead, George. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah, you're fine.
So I just want to say hi to the Victoria people, because you may not know that 10% or more of your audience is in Victoria and associated with the Victoria Computer Club.
Thank you so much. Yes, Dorothy's here, and I see that, and we have a big following there, of course. And yes, and of course, it's right on Vancouver Island where I am. It's overcast and a bit cool today. Yay! Connie, go ahead. There you go.
Hi, I just a couple things. One thing for Jim, I have a computerized sewing machine, and that can be real finicky sometimes with power issues and stuff. And I run it through a battery backup, and that seems to solve all my issues. So the other thing I wanted to say is thanks for the help with my Wise vacuum a couple weeks ago. I've got it all dialed in and I love it.
All right.
You got quite a bit of company on this channel.
Yes. I got to tell you that I did on my Roomba vacuum that I got. You all know the history of that, which I got about 6 months ago. It says I've done 100. I just passed the 100 episodes, where I ran it, which is like 3 vacuumings a week if you average it out. And I said, gee, our house is pretty clean. It never got 3 vacuumings a week. Well, that's pretty darn good, So our house is really clean since we got it. It's quite a bit different. So it's a lot of fun. I'm just itching to get another one though. I mean, I read all the reviews every day. It's just in Canada, the Roborock was the one that's being tested now, which is really cool, and there's great reviews on it. But they don't have, I can't get them. It's just this. You're really limited on the selection we have here, so I'll have to wait till Mesa when I can get down there and load up. What do we got? We got 6 minutes left. So if is anybody, the meeting will start at 9 o'clock in 6 minutes. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Any new people want to say hello? We'll start the meeting at 9 o'clock. It'll go for, of course, an hour, and then we will we'll have our Q&A. Yes, Jim, go ahead.
Speaking of the Wise Robovac, I've got one too, and I really love it. And I run it once a day. And cleaning it was a real problem, particularly because the roller, I've got dog, and the roller hair and everything was really bad. So I finally figured out a way to clean that roller that I might share with you guys. Basically, I just take a utility knife and cut across the bottom of the roller, and then I take a dog comb because it's steel, and I just comb it. And that seems to pull all the crap right off of the roller. But it does take me about 15 minutes to go through the whole thing and clean it out. But that was the only one I could find that didn't kill my hands.
Well, there's some of the machines some of the machines actually come with tools like that are meant to get rid of the hair. So it is.
Well, I tried their tool. It wouldn't work.
It didn't work.
It wasn't sharp enough, and it wouldn't cut through.
All right.
That's why I've got utility knives everywhere. They're so damn handy.
Don't cut yourself. Don't cut yourself.
Yeah.
Don't cut yourself. Yeah. All right, Bill, go ahead.
Yes, I was wondering if anything new on the glucose monitoring watches.
You are going to hear all sorts of stuff about watches today. This is a watch day. All right. So you're going to hear all sorts of stuff about watches today. So I'm going to answer that a bit later.
Okay. Well, I'll be coming in and out. So I'm recording it. So
we record this whole session. You can watch it again and again and again.
Well, you do a good job of editing.
Just sound.
Yeah, we edit it. So there's a live broadcast and a recorded broadcast now. So a lot of people still watch the live broadcast as it's taped, but I spent a lot of time downloading this, editing and putting it back up. So watch the edited version, you guys. I mean, it's much better. I spent a lot of time doing that. So please go over to the edited version and watch it. So it should be up. It's usually up around 4 o'clock Pacific time. Might be a bit earlier today. We'll see.
Is there any way of getting?
You do a really good job, by the way.
Thanks. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
I say, is there any way of getting the first half hour in the recording?
That we
watch the first half hour and turn it off.
Well, no, he's talking about the time that we're doing now, because I cut that out. We just made a decision early on that we weren't gonna broadcast the whole this first half, the social interaction, and that's the way it's always been done. In fact, I cut out the whole section, including me goofing around playing our intro. That's all cut out and it goes in. I cut it all out and put a much more professional intro in. So it looks really good. So that's just a decision we made.
Okay.
Well, the Q&A's in there. The Q&A we keep. The Q&A's at the back. But for people who want to watch the show and don't understand who we are and all the people here, it would be, I don't really know that they'd want to go through that half hour before they got to the show. I guess they could skip forward in it, but we don't want to scare people off.
I just wanted to say,
are appreciated, and for those of us who sometimes miss a meeting or maybe want to go over something, do a lot of good work there.
Thank you. It makes all that work worthwhile.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a lot of work. Bill, you
Well,
had something?
I just wanted to say for those folks that have a Wise vacuum is that the company offered a parts replacement kit that had additional brushes and other things included. You might want to go and see. They were sold out the last time I checked, but I bought one of those, and that will give you additional brushes because eventually you're going to have to replace that brush.
Which is one good point. And the Vacuum Wars reviewed this and we're talking about this, is that doesn't really, I mean, there are hundreds of different vacuums models around, but one of the problems is in the long term is getting parts for them. And one of the reasons why Roomba's so, I mean, it's just so easy to get parts from. There's all sorts of third-party people making parts for them, because ultimately with these devices, you're going to need parts, right? So just remember that when you consider that. Well, we've got Bob. I guess we got, what do we got? 84 people. Great. And 85 and
86.
And 1 minute to go. So we'll get ready to mute. I'm going to mute everybody. So if you have to unmute, just click your space bar to unmute. But we'd like to keep people muted so that dog barking and stuff like that doesn't interfere with everybody. So I'm going to mute all. And we are going to share my screen. And we should get going. Tech for Seniors, episode 72. It is August the 9th. We have about, what have we got, 86 people today watching. Thank you for coming. Thanks so much. We do appreciate you being here. As I've said before, we get our energy from your enthusiasm. So thank you for coming. We have also a bunch of people over on our YouTube channel, because we broadcast this show not only just to our Zoom meeting, but of course we broadcast it over to YouTube. So if you can't make it in sometime, please just pop over onto the YouTube channel and you can see that. The meeting's a little bit different for YouTube people. We're going to go, we're going to run the show as an hour, and we will of course go the first 50 minutes right up until Ray's segment, and then just before Ray's music segment, the YouTube broadcast will be stopping. We usually have lots of room over here, so if you want to come back from YouTube over into our Zoom meeting for the Q&A, that's fine. So we're certainly glad to have you. So and of course the meeting is being taped. So if you want to go back and you want to play it and listen to us again, you can certainly do that. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter comes out on Tuesday and Saturday, and it contains a lot of information, including Ray's music list. I don't know how many of you have been listening to all Ray's great music, but it's I think you must have about 4 hours of music now, and all you have to do is just sit there and click the playlist, and it's going to give you all Ray's great music that he plays on the show, as well as all our both the Thursday and Monday show are all recorded and available for that. So let me introduce everyone. We got the whole gang here this morning. Hewie, you had a busy weekend.
I certainly did, and I got to play with Windows 11 live on my Windows Special Interest Group yesterday. By the way, it's recorded and up on YouTube already.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Luckily, I had Bob there to help me with some things that I got stuck on, and it was nerve-wracking because I don't know it all, and trying to find things and do things in a brand new operating system. It's fun. And you can watch me, you can watch me suffer through it. I will have the link to it on my website. It's still not there, but it is up on YouTube, and I did post it last night. So if anyone wants to watch and see some of the changes and differences in Windows 11, it's there.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
cool.
can watch me suffer through it. So yeah, it was pretty busy. It was a long meeting, and
I thought you and Bob did a good job. I thought Bob was very helpful, and the two of you worked out the differences. You had some interesting questions as well, so it turned out really well.
yeah.
Bob,
And, I just want to add one more thing about the last week I did another Starlink report, and as of this morning, I had over 2,400 views on YouTube. So it's really caught on. And there was one news item this week that I did want to mention. They're going to switch rockets. They've been using their Starlink, or it's a S9, I think, rocket. They're going to change the rocket so they can put a bigger device on the top of it. And instead of 60 Starlink satellites at a time, they're going to be able to lift off 400 at a time. So those of you who aren't getting Starlink yet may be able to very quickly.
Bob's got his fingers crossed, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're hoping for Bob. Bob will be able to get it.
We're hoping. We're rooting for you, Bob. Bob, so are you? How many Windows 11 videos do you have out now?
I don't count them. I just produce them.
Yeah, but you're a marathon man. You are producing so many videos. Are you going to be the Windows 11 expert, or what's going on?
I don't know. I'm using it as my regular computer. So once in a while I go back, but just to answer somebody's question to Windows 10.
Right.
I'm on Windows 11 constantly.
So in 2 words or less, do you like it, or you think it's worth it?
I'm not having any problems with it. I know where everything is. So yeah, for me, it's fine.
Okay.
And it's not that big a learning curve if you swap over.
No, it isn't.
All right.
It's knowing where some of the switches are and to turn things on and off.
Right.
There are a few.
If you don't know, just go to my channel and watch. There's lots of tutorials.
And they're good too.
All right. Yeah, they're really good. And Dewey, hey, you guys, we have the video everyone has been waiting for. Dewey finally got it done I kept bugging him about this. You're going to hear the infrared barbecue video. This is, everyone's going to want to listen to this. If you want to cook good steaks, Dewey's going to show you how to do that today. Right, Dewey?
Not exactly right, because I'm going to tell you a little bit more how infrared works and our own experiences with it.
All right. So are we coming over to your house this afternoon for steaks?
No, it'd have to be maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. Okay. All right. And Ray, what's happening with you?
Well, as you know, we talked on Thursday. I have a Windows 11 computer now. I've got a HP Stream and converted it from 10 to 11. And I come from the school that says, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I just don't like it. This reminds me a little bit of Windows 8, where it took me about 5 minutes to find the off switch on Windows 8 when it first came out. It was so well hidden. This one is hidden as well, but not quite as much. It only took me 1 minute to figure it out. But a lot of the changes I think they made just for the sake of changing.
Right.
The security stuff I love. Some of the other stuff, not so much.
Not so much. And then Bill and I are going to duke it out next, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. We're going to have another knockdown gadget war here. And so I'm busily getting some gadgets. What are you doing? Are you getting any gadgets?
I'm lining up. We're going to have a face-off.
We're going to have a face-off. Yes.
Should be fun.
Yes, it is. We're going to have a big face-off. Well, we'll hopefully see some of the gadgets today. All right. Well, listen, I wanted to just give everyone a few, those of you who looked at our Facebook page this morning will know what I'm talking about. Those of you who haven't looked at our Facebook page won't know. So the first thing I wanted to tell you about was a few articles I posted. One was on TCL. Now, of course, you all know that I talk a lot about TCL TV. It's my favorite TV. Well, what you may or may not know is TCL also makes smartphones, and they have, of course, their new TCL line of smartphones in the United States. But I'm not going to talk about that either, because what I wanted to mention to you was their new set of glasses, the TCL glasses that are out, and these are smart glasses. Now, they're not available in the United States. They've just been released in Australia. Now, unlike the Oculus Quest, which of course many of you have the virtual reality experience, these are really display glasses. And what they do is that you're able to plug them into whatever output device you want, and you can watch the movies with this glass, with your glasses on. And this gives you it's about the equivalent to watching it on a 40-inch screen. So if you lived in an apartment, you didn't have a large screen, or you didn't have a TV, you can use these glasses as an output for your device. And these, I think they're onto something here, and they're doing the test run of this in Australia, and we'll see how it goes. But I think that's pretty cool. Now, they are $800, so I'm not going to be running out, Bill, and buying these things and sort of test them out. But I want to let you, but it is really cool. And I mean, if you could put these on and you can wear them, that's pretty cool. And as you know, the Galaxy Watch 4 is coming out this Wednesday. I've posted on our Facebook page the links to, if you want to watch the live event. It's on the Samsung's YouTube channel, and the information is there. So the Galaxy Watch 4, and we'll talk a bit about that later on today, is coming out, and there's lots more to, we'll see what the final verdict is on that. And then last but not least was Google's Heads Up feature. There's an article that I put on our Facebook page because, of course, people are walking down the street and they are looking at their Android phone, reading and playing games and talking and not paying attention. So this is an accessibility feature you can add to your phone. And if you are walking along and a car is coming, or you're going to crash into something, it gives you a notification on your phone, heads up. So just to let you know, this is a heads up feature for Android that is available for you. Again, it's on our Facebook page, so you stay safe and don't walk into a car. All right, Bob, are you ready to roll?
I think so. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending August 6th, 2021. Attackers hijacked Chipotle email marketing account. Mass mailing service Mailgun had one of its largest accounts, the email marketing account for fast food chain Chipotle, compromised and used to target USAA users, Microsoft users, and others with malware. According to anti-phish agency Inky, which detected 121 phishing emails originating from the compromised account. Of those attacks, 2 with phishing scams, which are fake voicemail notifications, 14 impersonated USAA Bank, and 105 impersonated Microsoft. The 2 phishing scams were meant to deliver malware, but the other 119 scams were attempts to harvest credentials. Inky notes that the Chipotle attackers used the same techniques as the SolarWinds attack earlier this year, perpetrated by Russian threat group Nobelium. The threat group compromised SolarWinds' email marketing account and sent roughly 3,000 malicious emails. It is still unclear who is behind the Chipotle attack. For more on this story, see Security Week. Facebook hack victims by Oculus to restore their accounts. According to NPR, 19 listeners reported that their Facebook accounts were hacked or disabled in July, and some found the only recourse that stimulated the social platform to restore their accounts was the $299 purchase of an Oculus Quest 2, Facebook's virtual reality headset. When one hack victim discovered that it was impossible to find any live help from Facebook, either on the phone or over the web, he followed a tip he saw on Reddit and purchased an Oculus Quest 2. As soon as he contacted Oculus with the product serial number, support got back to him right away and restored his Facebook account. Several other users claim to have done this to fix their accounts, after which they simply returned the unopened headsets. Snapchat horoscope feature remembers birth info. Addressing user concerns over the fact that Snapchat knows some users' birth information down to the location and hour, The Verge reminded users that they submitted their birthday when they set up their Snapchat account. Users also must input their birth city and time if they want to use the platform's horoscope feature. The app keeps that information and stores it in the birthday section of the user's profile settings. Snapchat will not share a user's birthday details without permission, and users always have the option to delete the information from the app if they choose. The U.S. Senate calls out Fed agencies for poor security. The Senate published a report this week called Federal Cybersecurity: America's Data Still at Risk, in which 8 federal agencies are called out for having weak cybersecurity protections. After an investigation, the Senate committee found many of the agencies had failed to implement baseline cybersecurity practices, and most were using outdated systems. The investigation also found that some of the agencies were not updating or patching their systems when new versions of their security software were released. It is unacceptable that our own federal agencies are not doing everything possible to safeguard America's data, said Republican Senator Rob Portman, ranking member of the investigative committee. Microsoft warns of Beta call scams. A new ransomware trend that popped up this year involves a phony call center where users are guided through a process that has them unknowingly download malware onto their systems. Microsoft calls the campaign Beta Call, and the malware that users are tricked into downloading is called Beta Loader malware. Attackers first lure victims with phony emails that claim they've been subscribed to an expensive service. The email provides a phone number if the user has any questions. When the user calls the number, the attacker poses as customer support, leading the user through the steps necessary to unsubscribe, but which really downloads ransomware onto their systems. Read more at Microsoft. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. In celebration of this week's 30th anniversary of the World Wide Web, Avast CEO Andrei Volchek looks back at the Internet's development over the past 3 decades. An excellent article in which Andrei raises an excellent question regarding today's state of the Internet. World Wide Web or Wild Wild West? You can reach this thought-provoking article at the following link. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
So Bob, I've got to change my PowerPoint presentation and add another reason for buying the Oculus Quest 2. Indeed. Do you want to do your 5 security tips? Do you want to do that next? Okay.
Give me 2 seconds to get over to it.
Yes. So if you do have a problem with your Facebook account, the Oculus Quest is what you need to log in with. It will. So that was interesting article. We're going to talk now about, Bob's got a video on 5 security tips seniors should know about.
Usually I have this set up in advance, but when you have 2 of them back to back, that doesn't work. In this tutorial, we are going to cover 5 security tips
we can't see it, Bob.
Seniors need to know. The National Council.
I think you have to share your screen.
In this tutorial, we are going to cover 5 security tips that all seniors need to know. The National Council on Aging estimates senior citizens lose about $3 billion a year to financial scams. Senior users form a favorite target demographic because attackers bank on a general lack of knowledge to all things internet. The countermeasure here, of course, is to replace that ignorance with knowledge. Here are 5 simple tips that will help any user stay on guard. Ignore links and attachments in emails from senders you don't recognize. Email phishing scams are far and away the most common method attackers use to deliver malware. These tend to be from someone who pretends to know you or have a familiarity with you. Usually, the email will contain a link or an attachment that you are encouraged to click. Doing so, though, could download malware onto your system. Once your profile gets infected, the attacker may use your contact list to send out more malware from your account. Ignore calls from robotic or recorded services. These voice phishing scams or vishing scams are easy for attackers to cast out and see who bites. When you answer the phone, the recorded voice tells you some false information that sounds vaguely urgent, then asks you to provide some personal information to supposedly correct the situation. In reality, that personal information could be used later for identity theft. The best thing to do, as soon as you hear that recorded voice start, is hang up that phone. Ignore links and attachments in text messages from numbers you don't recognize. Like the email phishing scams, these SMS phishing scams try to get you to click on a link or download an attachment. By doing either, you open the door to malware that can hijack your personal information from your computer or device. For example, we've seen quite a few SMS phishing campaigns pretending to come from couriers or parcel delivery companies such as DHL or Australia Post. Even if you are expecting a delivery, be super cautious about clicking on any links within the message. You should normally be able to get the delivery tracking code and look it up on the company's tracking website. When the delivery notification is unexpected, delete them right away. Ignore links and attachments on social media from profiles you don't recognize. Again, the don't trust strangers rule applies to your social media accounts, just as it does to your email accounts and your texts. Whether you use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, or any other platform, remember that there are many fake profiles out there created by attackers looking for users gullible enough to become their friend and ultimately open malicious links or attachments. Don't be fooled. And while you're at it, take a moment to adjust your social media privacy settings so that they can keep you best protected. Install an antivirus program on your phone and laptop. Fight fire with fire. Cyber attackers are using cutting-edge technology, but it's no stronger than today's best antivirus technology. Avast Free Antivirus uses next-gen cybersecurity to detect and neutralize phishing attacks like the ones I've described. To make sure you always have the latest advancements working for you, keep your antivirus up to date each time a new version is released. Unfortunately, there are many other types of scams preying on seniors, such as romance scams and IRS or taxation office scams, but they all boil down to the same thing: a con artist trying to trick the user into giving away sensitive information or downloading malware onto their system. The simple rule is, do not trust strangers on the internet. Whether you're a senior or a caretaker of a senior, keep this in mind whenever you are online. In today's technology-based society, seniors need to learn to be more cautious. Verify before you accept things at face value. When not sure about something, the prudent thing is to simply avoid it. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That was great, and hopefully those tips are there for everyone. And just to remind everyone that for your Facebook security settings, Hewie did an excellent job. The last did a 3-part series on Facebook settings for security, and those are all in our previous taped versions. So he did a very good job. So you should review those and look at your social media settings. Now, the time everybody has been waiting for. This is the at least the time I've been waiting for, and I have not watched this whole video. I've been waiting. I'm going to watch it with you as well. This is where Dewey is going to explain about, because I do a lot of cooking and barbecuing, and so I'm interested in what he has to say. So here we go with we're going to see Dewey's new barbecuing, I guess, technique, or we will see what he has to say.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is the lowdown on infrared grills. In mid-June, our classic 38-year-old Royal Master warm morning model gas grill died. I lamented its passing to Joanne, but I secretly rejoiced because for me it was an opportunity to see what's out there and then buy a really swell new grill. My research began almost immediately. I'd been hearing frequent radio commercials hyping the Solaire infrared grill that claims to heat up to 1,000 degrees in 3 minutes, and I was curious as to what the magical heat source was. Well, it turned out to be regular LP, liquid propane, or natural gas if you choose. Solaire is a Rolls Royce in infrared grills, with models selling up to $4,000. However, their popular IR-17 pictured at left, it's a portable costing just $459. I Googled Weber, a big name in grills, and learned that Weber doesn't make an infrared grill. Surprising. I then Googled gas grills infrared, and the first name that came up was Charbroil. Turns out that Charbroil, which is located in Columbus, Georgia, is huge in infrared grills with their patented true infrared technology. Charbroil also manufactures a wide range of standard charcoal, gas, and electric outdoor grills, smokers, and flyers. I also learned that Charbroil is a significant player in infrared grilling history. The astronomer Sir William Herschel is credited with the discovery of infrared heating in 1800, though it wasn't used for practical purposes until World War II. A fellow named Bill Best further developed infrared technology in the 1960s, primarily to give automakers a faster way to dry paint on cars. That led him to patent the technology for infrared grilling and later founding a Thermal Electric Corporation known as TEC to manufacture infrared grills, which, by the way, were and still are very, very expensive. When Bill Best's patent expired in the year 2000, Charbroil formed a strategic alliance with TEC to manufacture a Charbroil TEC series. Though this alliance is long since gone, TEC continues to manufacture grills costing up to $9,000. In 2007, Charbroil launched the still popular Big Easy oilless infrared turkey fryer. No oil, It's still widely available at $129. In 2015, Charbroil brought out the Kettleman True Infrared Kettle Grill, a charcoal grill, picture at the lower left, and it features no fall-through grates and a hinged lid, sells for $159. They also introduced a new line of digital and Wi-Fi connected electric smokers pictured at the lower right that cost in the roughly $300 to $400 range. I was quite surprised to learn in my research that any grill, accessory, or part may be ordered directly from Charbroil. You know, they sell at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, and so forth. It likely won't save you any money to buy direct, but their extensive website makes model comparisons and shopping easy. After an abundance of research, I ended up ordering a $500 Charbroil 3-burner true infrared grill. It was shipped directly to my home unassembled in a large box weighing about 125 pounds. The trade-off was that though I didn't have to lug it home from a store, I had to put it together myself with the kind help of a friend. This is a picture of my grill. The cover is insulated so the intense temperatures don't show up completely. It's warm, but it isn't. You're not going to burn yourself. You notice it has a convenience tray at the left. It's a 3-burner grill, and there's a side burner on the right. It's a flip-up cover to access that. And you see the 2 little black buttons to the right of the 3 knobs. The first one is a battery-powered igniter, and the second one is, it's kind of funny, it's a knob you push and you get some beautiful lights on your 3 knobs, again, battery-powered. Well, I think, and of course you have very nice storage underneath with the behind the 2 doors. There are essentially 3 ways of cooking food: conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, conduction transfers heat through direct contact. You know, it's like frying eggs in a pan on a cooktop, or flames from your traditional grill directly charring your burger or steak. For your information, this is also the slowest method of cooking because the food is cooked from the outside in. Convection combines conduction and circulation to move heat by a fluid such as water or air. Boiling an egg in water or doing a turkey in a deep fryer are good examples. Convection also occurs in appliances such as air conditioners, radiators, refrigerators, and hot air popcorn poppers. Infrared, which is also abbreviated to IR, it's the 3rd way of cooking food, and the technology is used in infrared grilling. I'll help you to understand infrared grilling by comparing it to grilling as we know it. Traditional gas, electric, or charcoal grills heat the air that cooks the food. An infrared grill, on the other hand, uses the same fuels, but instead heats an emitter plate, which radiates intense heat that cooks the food. Infrared radiation is totally safe for food and people. For example, each of you are now radiating heat to your surroundings, roughly equal to that from a traditional 100-watt light bulb. But you didn't know that. By the way, microwave radiation is a 2nd way of using radiation to heat food. There are many emitter plate designs used in infrared grills. This is Trademark's True Infrared Basic Design. From top to bottom, you can see, first of all, it's kind of a bad picture, sorry about that. You can see the steak, and right below it, the thin black wavy line is the porcelain enameled cast iron cooking grate. And the red ripply part right below that is the stainless steel infrared emitter. It completely prevents any flame from directly getting to the meat. And you see the stainless steel gas burner with flames. It looks like feathers, but those are supposed to be the burners with flames. So what are the pros and cons of infrared grilling? Well, pros first. Meats, and this is the number 1, meat stays moist and juicy. Infrared light waves cook meat or vegetables with little moisture loss. Another point, even heat distribution. Infrared grills distribute heat evenly and don't have hotter or cooler areas. 3rd point, no flare-ups or charring. There is never an open flame, and fat drippings are vaporized adding to flavor in the meat in cooking. Cons, things against it. No flare-ups or charring. I just told you that this was a pro, but frankly, many of us, and especially me, I like the taste of a little bit of charring, however, on my steak or burger. However, the amazing juiciness and the resulting tenderness of infrared grilled meat is quickly winning me over. Another point, infrared grills are way more expensive, but not necessarily at charbroil. A downside of charbroil is that their grills have smaller burners with less BTU output. My grill takes 20 minutes to reach a temperature of 600 to 650 degrees, which is pretty much the threshold for infrared grilling. Interestingly, as my emitter plates get blacker and blacker from grilling, they also get hotter. Another con, something against it, infrared grilling. An infrared grill doesn't offer the lower temperatures that traditional grills do. This could be a limiting factor. There's another point, there's more work to keep an infrared grill clean, but I'm just beginning now to hit my stride in keeping the emitter plate on my grill tidy and the cooking grate clean. If you do it properly, it's not a big hassle. I'm kind of into a routine. I'll explain more as I show you the following photos. This is how my infrared grill looked before it was used the first time. Now you don't see any holes, but look to the right. You can see the emitter plate with its holes, and a grill bar covers each row of the holes, so no flame gets through to touch the meat. I took these photos of my grill recently. The photo at left shows the 3 porcelain enameled cast iron cooking grates. You can kind of make them out. And the photo, it also shows at the right, the 3 stainless steel emitter plates. So that's after I'd used it for, a couple of weeks, maybe half a dozen times. So they were starting to blacken. They're blacker now. These 2 choice grade sirloin steaks, sirloin steaks was our first infrared grilling experience. Joanne wanted to pound the steaks to tenderize them, but I said, no, let's just grill them as they are. Well, they turned out to be extra juicy, extraordinarily tender, juicy, and flavorful. We're now very happy and excited that we chose to venture into infrared grilling. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. And I'm really sticking with this one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you the next time, the good Lord willing.
Oh man, I just got to have a steak tonight. This is going to be crazy. Oh wow, that was great, and we're all coming over tonight for steak. Dewey, where are you?
Oh boy, that's going to be a problem because we're going to be gone. But you can come Wednesday or Thursday.
No, just leave the barbecue there with some steaks. We'll figure it out. We'll get her done. Yeah. Say, hey, Dewey, the other thing that would be really cool with that would be you could do pizzas in there because it's so hot, eh? Like it's a real hot grill, so it'd probably be a good idea. You could probably just do pizzas on the grill, eh?
I just haven't even thought about that.
Because you want a really hot
with another time. But
yeah, but you want a real hot barbecue with hot flame with pizza. Anyway, we better get on here. Ray, I think you're up next. Have you got?
Yes, sir.
Let's. I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. Share my screen here. Let me think what I'm doing. Get rid of that. First, I want to just do a little quick announcement about some of the works. These are for those watching today that are part of a computer club that belongs to APCUG. Coming up this Wednesday, August 11, it's all about cars. I'm going to be involved. Plus, there's going to be a gentleman talking about understanding the trouble codes and the Blue Driver interface. This is the electronics in your car. And then later, the next Wednesday workshop is reviewing both the old and new aspects of Linux. And then the Summer Virtual Technology Conference on August 21. And there's some of the topics, geocaching, maps, That's with Chris and Jim Gould, the genealogy. Here's something interesting. Computers.
We're not seeing it. We're only seeing your desktop.
Okay, thank you for pointing that out to me. I think if I do this, well, okay, it doesn't matter right now. Here's the bottom line. I don't want to take up any more time. Full details about these programs, including how to register to attend, have been sent to all the club presidents, asking that they forward to their members. So if you haven't received this yet from your club president, you may want to contact them and let them know you're interested in either the Wednesday workshops or the Summer Virtual Technology Conference on August 21. All right, we all remember when I did let me just slideshow. When I did the presentation on music in the car, and I covered quite a bit, and for the aspect of older cars that don't have any modern audio features, I mentioned briefly things like a FM transmitter. Well, then when I took my motorhome to New Mexico, and that's an older motorhome, I found out that, I could really use some newer gadgets to make the technology work. So what I'm going to show you today are 3 new video clips that I've added to that presentation. In the first one, we'll talk a little bit about cassette adapters, and then I'm going to talk about Bluetooth FM transmitters. And these are not only good for getting music from your device to your car speakers, but they're perfect for hands-free phone calls. So if you have an older vehicle that doesn't have built-in abilities for hands-free phone calls, you may want to consider one of these transmitters. You can either use the Bluetooth feature wireless, or you can attach an audio cable. And I'm going to show you basically how that works. And again, the bottom line is you configure the FM transmitter to send audio sound to a not in use FM radio station, and then listen to your music on that station on your FM car radio. So here we go. Okay, folks, now we're going to move on to a vehicle that is so old. This is my 20-year-old motorhome, that the fancy entertainment system consists of an AM/FM radio and a cassette player. Then what do? Well, you can get what's called a cassette adapter. Now, the cassette adapter costs under $10 at Walmart, and this one is a wired cassette adapter. And I just recently learned that on Amazon you can buy a Bluetooth cassette adapter that will come without the wire, and it'll connect via Bluetooth your phone and the cassette. So whenever you're playing it, and I'm going to give you an example of how that works now. So I'm going to take the cassette adapter and put it into just like I normally would. Yeah, the wire is sticking out, but that's no big deal. And the other end of the wire is connected to the speaker jack on my smartphone, where I have the song ready to play. And I'm going to press the play button, turn up the volume a little bit. And this is my friend John Carpino, who's given me permission to play all of his music for these instructional videos. And it's close enough to me while I'm driving. If I want to hear to the next song, I can just tap on the button that goes forward to the next selection, and there it is. So, and again, but the volume is all controlled on what I normally would if I was playing a tape. So that's one way of dealing with an older vehicle if it has a cassette player, and all your music though is stored on some kind of device like a smartphone. All right, the next item and type of device I'm going to talk about is called an FM transmitter. Now, these have been around for a long time. I had one probably close to 30 years ago. They were analog in those days, and they really didn't hold the station very good. What does an FM transmitter do? It takes the signal that you're sending to it to an unused FM radio station. So we know on the FM dial, there's lots of stations that are not broadcast on, depending where you are. You can then direct the signal to go to that station and hear it through your FM radio. So this particular device I liked. It has the ability for me to play a flash drive with music on it. So all I have to do is plug it in, and when it's connected to the DC power, it'll play. And it also, this is a neat one because it has a SD card. So I can actually put all of my music on a SD card like this and have it plugged in and it'll play. The problem with this one is when I have it plugged in over here, it's in my gear shifter is in the way. So for this particular vehicle, this isn't working that well. All right, so what did I do? I went out and I got a second FM transmitter, one a little bit more flat that fits in nicely to the DC power slot on the dash here. You can see I already have it tuned to 93.1. That's the FM station. And on my radio here, I also have it at 93.1. So now when I play a song on my phone that's connected via Bluetooth, it'll come out through the speakers in the vehicle. So let's see if that works.
I've been watching out my window. Everybody looks confused.
John sounding very good. So this now is really close to me as I'm driving. If I want to go to the next song, just a matter of tapping the forward button like that, and it brings up the next song. And I can see on the phone, it's called It's About a Love. And this particular app I'm using actually gives me the lyrics. So, but I should be watching the road, not the lyrics as I'm driving. So that's how an FM transmitter works. You pair your phone with the transmitter, and whatever unused station in your area is not being used for a regular FM signal, you're able to play your device through that. All right, here we go with the final aspect. I've taken my FM transmitter, and this time I've saved all of the songs I have by John Carpino on a flash drive. And I've plugged the flash drive into the center button here. The other two actually are for if you want to charge something. Let's say you want to charge your phones or something else, you can plug in here. But the middle one will now actually read the information that's on that flash drive. And what's on that flash drive is the MP3 files of John Carpino's songs. So I have it set up again. I just have to press the play button here. And it's now, you can see there's no phone here. It's now playing the songs that are on this flash drive through the FM radio on the 93.1 station.
Well, maybe I expect more from my brothers and sisters. Take a look around you, man. Take a look around you, mister. 2 minutes walking around with a hole in their heart.
So even with an old vehicle, a 20-year-old vehicle that only has a cassette player, you can see there's several ways that you can take today's technology, as long as you have your music saved as MP3 files on some kind of device, and play them in your car effortlessly as you're driving along, and you can be on the road again. Thank you very much. Okay, and we're back.
Thanks, Ray. That was great. Wow, that's some pretty cool stuff. And you'll be back in a second with your music segment. I just want to, in light of the Galaxy 4 watch coming this week, I wanted to just give you my assessment of the summary of my assessment of the Fitbit Sense. So let's see where we go with that. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. You know, 6 months ago, I purchased the Fitbit Sense watch and made a video about it. Today, the misunderstood Fitbit Sense revised my opinions after 6 months. Now remember, if you like this video, please click the like, and we'd sure appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continuing to make videos like you're seeing today. Thanks so much. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 things I like about the watch, and I'm going to talk about 3 things I hate about the watch, and then I'm going to give you some suggestions. So let's get on with it. Here are the 3 things I like about the Fitbit Sense. I like the beautiful AMOLED display. It is a gorgeous watch and has a really brilliant display. I thought when I purchased it, I would have it as a always on display, but realized I like the intermittent display, which of course gives me more battery life. Since I leave the watch on all the time, I was very paranoid about the watch face scratching. So I purchased some covers that go over top of the watch. These are plastic. They work very well and are not that expensive. I will leave a link in the show notes below on the Amazon link. I didn't change the original face on the clock and kept it the same. I do like the battery. The battery is an excellent battery. And as I discussed in the video, I usually charge it every morning while I'm in the shower for about 20 minutes. I like the health monitoring aspect of the watch. I'm not going to go into details on all the things that it does in monitoring it, as that is in the original video. But all in all, I think that the health monitoring works very well. You do have to wear this watch on a 24-hour basis because the health monitoring is done through the evening and night. So it occurs while you're sleeping. So if you take the watch off when you go to bed, this is not the watch for you. But all in all, I think it does very well. I like the integration with the Fitbit app. I've owned many Fitbit watches and feel very comfortable with my new watch and its integration with the Fitbit app on my phone. I think this all works very well. All right, let's look at the 3 things I hate about the Fitbit Sense watch. Now, I don't like Google's lack of commitment. What I mean by this is their lack of commitment to the watch. And that was part of the reason I made the first video called The Misunderstood Fitbit Sense Watch. 2 examples are, first of all, the cardiac monitoring. The ECG feature was not available on the watch when it was released. It first was available in the United States, but this is a watch that is sold globally. In Canada, it wasn't available until about 4 months later, and there was no product support or any information on any of the forums regarding this. This was very stressful because, of course, that's one of the major reasons people buy this watch. And in fact, last week I had an email from Australia and they were complaining it still hasn't been approved in Australia. So come on, Google, if you're going to sell this watch globally, you need a commitment. The second thing that is a lack of commitment is their ability to use this in conjunction with your phone. Now, your phone is paired to your watch through Bluetooth. Now, it is true that you can set it up, and I have to receive a call on your watch. Your watch will ring, you can answer your call, and you can have a conversation. But you can't make a phone call from your watch. So there is no LTE version of this watch. Now, in a high-end watch that is competing amongst the top 3 watches on the market today, to have a watch that doesn't have LTE capability, again, shows me a lack of commitment. That is number 1 reason why I don't like the Fitbit Sense. My second reason for not liking the Fitbit Sense is the lack of apps. I am constantly trying to find a use for my very nice Fitbit Sense watch. If you go to the App Store, you'll find very few apps are written for this watch, unlike Apple's watch. This is only going to get worse since Google has announced that the Fitbit Sense watches will be leaving the Fitbit Sense operating system and going to Android Wear. So I don't see this ever changing for the Fitbit Sense watch. So this is something you may consider before purchasing this. The third thing I don't like about this watch is the health monitoring notification. Well, overnight it does a pretty good job of monitoring various functions with your body. You would think that in the morning, if there was a problem, it would notify you. If you are having no problems and you're wearing your watch and having things monitored at night, it's really inconvenient to have to look at all those views every morning and try and figure out if anything has changed. It would be so simple to have a notification if something that they were monitoring changed and needed attention. So here are my thoughts about the Fitbit Sense watch. First of all, it is important to define a purpose before purchasing. What are you going to use the watch for? There are two distinct features of this watch that sets them apart many other watches. The two features are, first of all, the EDA sensor. This is a special sensor that is on the back of the watch that is measuring your stress level. This is called an EDA sensor and is involved in stress management. The second feature, of course, is the ECG feature. So my point is this: I'm not a stressful person, and I think I manage my stress well. So to have to put the palm of my hand over top of the watch and wait 2 minutes for it to tell me that I'm stressed out is not applicable for what I want to watch for. The second part is I don't have any heart problems. And while the ECG feature is great and really works well, if you're healthy and you don't have any cardiac problems, are you ever going to use that feature? So if you take the EDA sensor away and you take the ECG feature away, here's the problem. You have a $30 watch. All the features of the watch will be available on cheaper models of watches such as the Wise Watch, which you can purchase for under $30. So why purchase the Fitbit Sense with its limited functionality? So just remember, these are the changing times. The Fitbit Sense currently is heavily discounted. I suspect is probably making way for changes and a new watch coming out. So if you have some cardiac problems, you think you need to manage your stress better, maybe this is a watch that you can pick up and it will be helpful for you. Remember, the Fitbit line is all going to be replaced with Android Wear. We also have blood sugar monitoring coming, so it is so important for you to define the use of the watch before you purchase it. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Please click the like, and if you want to see more, to subscribe. Thanks a lot. Till we meet again. Bye now. All right, Ray, are you ready to roll?
Here we go again. Yes. Yeah. All right.
You're still live, Ron.
Oh, am I? Oh, right. Thanks.
Close this.